Hi everyone, this is Stellarum back again. We're on our way to the Mun here. You can see it over here. We're about 2 hours away from our encounter with the Mun. So we can speed up time just a little bit here. Let's go back to our spaceship and show you again what it looks like. So we've still got our last stage from our BFR here. We're rotating just a little bit, so I'm going to try to stop that. We still have the last stage from our BFR. That's actually not too bad. It's not a big deal if it's there. We've got all our solar panels here. They are getting some sunlight, charging up our batteries, so we're all good there. What we can do is actually, sorry, first thing I'm going to do is go in here, and I collected some data while I was out in high altitude space above Kerbin, which you can see is over behind me here now. So we're still relatively close. The Mun is getting bigger, but Kerbin's still a very visible portion in our sky right now. So we're not that far from our small blue dot in the middle of the black void of space with all these stars around us in the galaxy and that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and we'll do a quick EVA here. Zoom in here. Let's make sure we're aligned to him. To Bob, our scientist Bob. Let's climb down this way. Down to here, say collect data. Yes, we'll remove that. We can restore that so it can get more data. And then we can move in quickly here. Just like that, and board. Perfect. Okay, so now let's go back to map view. We've got 2 hours to go, so let's speed this up just a little bit. A little faster, I suppose. So I do want to slow down to physics warp when we go over from the sphere of influence from the Mun to, or from Kerbin to the Mun. And then once we get in there, I'm going to plan out a maneuver. So you can see our periapsis is 17 kilometers above the surface. I'm going to circularize around the Mun, probably collect some more science at that point. And then I'll perform my I'll jettison, or I'll burn to bring my orbit down so that it'll impact the surface, and then I'll jettison the remaining stage of the BFR, and we'll be able to use that to go in and land on the surface of the Mun. So never actually done this. We'll see this all together for the first time, and let's hope that I can do a good job. And let's slow down here. Still 6 minutes away. Can speed up just a little bit. Just like that. And we're a minute and 20 seconds away. I think this we can just leave as is. So let's look at this. The Mun is coming up big on the horizon. And we're able to see the Mun above and Kerbin. They're almost the same size at this point in the sky. So of course they're almost the same size because we're much closer to the Mun. The Mun is actually much smaller, but the perspective when you're that much closer, makes it look bigger, of course. Let's go back here. We're only 40 seconds from our encounter. Encounter is a little bit of a misnomer there, but it's close enough. It's once we enter the sphere of gravity of the Mun. So, very, very close. That's kind of funny. There's actually like kilonewtons of thrust happening, or torque. I guess that would make sense. Okay, 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And we switch into orbit of the Mun. Let's do a material study. 50 science. Look at that. The high radiation environment caused a few samples to glow. Huh. We'll keep that. We'll do the mystery goo. Another 20 science there. Thank you. Let's go back to our capsule here. Excuse me. We'll perform an EVA. Bob is looking concerned a bit, but we're gonna use him to go and collect this data. It's all about the science, right? Move data and restore. That is good. Collect data, move data, restore, and it's all good. Just like that. And board. Perfect. Wonderful. Alrighty. So the next batch of science is going to be right around Kerbin, or around the Mun. So what we can do, let's no, we don't want to take that. We want to focus on the Mun. That's it. And let's, you know what? Let's use MechJeb. This is what MechJeb is for. Let's take that down. And we'll use our maneuver planner. We can close that. And what we're going to do is circularize, but we're going to do it at the periapsis. So at next periaps, auto warp, create node. It'll take about 200 meters a second. We still have over 1,000 meters a second in our last stage. So then once we want to go down to the surface, we'll be able to burn the remainder of our fuel here. So that'll be 700 meters per second. Will slow us right down. And then we're going to jettison and lose that stage anyway, so we might as well just use it. It's not as efficient to use it in orbit. You're better off to do what's called a suicide burn, which is you burn so that you end up, you're going to be coming down onto the surface, and then you use your burn right at the end. You do all retrograde and it just slows you right down right at the end, and that's as little fuel as you're going to need. But this is going to be what we're going to use. This will work very nicely. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll see where we end up. So let's go back here, back into our view of the Mun, and we can do execute next node. It will warp into place as soon as it lines up to the maneuver node. So you can see it's pretty much it's almost all going to be a retrograde burn. So you can see our retrograde is down there. And as we come around, we're going to come around You can see how it's very cratered. It's going to be interesting finding a spot to land here. Here we come, and there's some stuff to observe. But for now, we're just going to wait. We're going to let it burn to periapts very, very soon. There goes the burn. And there we go. We are in orbit around the Mun. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So let's take a quick look in here. Let's do some science. I think we got a lot of this on our flyby, but we can do the mystery goo. Another 30 science right there. Keep that data. We are going to turn the SAS on. We're going to want to turn right side up like this. Just like that. Perfect. All right, Bob Kerbin, you are go for EVA. Climb down here. Very handy having all these ladders. You don't really have to worry about the EVAs too much. Let's restore that. Guess we used that or just like that, and oops, board. There we go. Perfect. All right. So now, take a quick look. One of the very nice satellites I did, this satellite here, actually let's switch over there. Let's go back to the Space Center. We'll leave Bob in his ship for now. He's very happy around there. If we go over to the Mun, zoom in, there's this very handy satellite orbiting the Mun. Let's fly this for just a second. So the very nice part about this is it's got this gadget here. This is from the ScanSat mod. So if you look at this, this part here, it's a ScanSat. It's at a certain altitude, and it will it's a radar scanner, so it scans the surface features of the Mun. So stuff like that, you certainly don't want to be landing on that inside edge of this crater here. That's a perfect example right there. So if you go to map here, as we come in here and zoom in here, you can see this crater here. We want to avoid that if possible. So let's go back to the Space Center. We're going to want to find a spot that is nice and flat. So let's go ahead and we'll go back in here. Let's go to Somnia 5. Let's fly that. And what we're going to be doing is trying to find a spot that's nice and flat. So we can go to a big map, and we can zoom this out a little bit more, and we'll get a nice, good view of, oops, the Mun. So it's a bit of a low resolution map, just because that's the technology that we have at the moment, but it's good enough for now. So let's just take a look. We're in the dark side right now, so we certainly want to be kind of on the other side. So we're looking in this area here. There might be a spot right there. That probably looks like one of the better spots. Either there or maybe over here somewhere. And you know what? Since we're going to be able to, you know what? We're pretty much going to wait until we get back around to the day side, and then we're just going to stop. We're going to burn 500 meters a second, come down to 40 meters per second. That'll almost take the remainder of our tank of fuel from the BFR. At that point, we'll cut this, we'll let it drop, and then we're going to extend our gear, and we're going to use the Terrier engine to come the rest of the way down. So that will be the landing. So I'm very nervous. I'm not sure if you guys are. I am extremely nervous about how this is going to work, but we'll see how this goes. So let's, you know what, let's fast forward a little bit, and we're going to end up coming around to the day side. Once we get to the day side, I'll slow it down again, and we'll take a look at the terrain and where we might want to land. We had some signs, EVA reports and such. So we're very far onto the night side. There we go. We're coming around to the day side again. You can see some of those mountains are pretty high. We're going to want to go a little ways onto the day side, just so that we don't get some weird... actually, if we land here, it will actually be the sun setting. So we're going to want to go a little bit more onto the other side. That actually wouldn't be too bad there. Okay, I think that should be, you know, let's just go over the ridge here. That certainly looks a little hilly. And there's a bit smoother, bit of a smoother section, kind of just over here. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where we're gonna go. Okay, here goes nothing. Before we do that, let's rotate this way. Just like that. We want to try to align ourselves. So now we're more or less lined up. And let's hit the rocket. The BFR. Let's switch to surface mode. And let's cut it there. Great. I'm going to extend the gear. And not extend it there. There we go. So you can see as we fall, the gravity of the moon is pulling us towards the ground. So as we approach the ground, this retrograde in surface mode will end up pointing straight down, or very close. I might as well stop my horizontal motion, I guess. If I do that, pushing my retrograde straight down, just like that. I'm gonna try to, okay, let's detach here. How far are we from the surface? Actually, I need this one here. We are 11 kilometers, so I'm going to detach this like that. It'll give a slight velocity to the side. And do that. Perfect. So of course the parachute does not work here. At 7 kilometers. I'm just trying to slow my velocity down. I definitely have more than enough delta V, so I'm trying to control this descent. Of course, I know that we're better off doing the full suicide burn at the end, but I am just going to play it safe just a touch here. So 4.8, we're still going 100 meters per second. That's all right. Coming down nicely. 3.5 kilometers above the surface. We're at 100 meters per second and falling. We might end up dropping this quite a bit more. Let's drop this speed quite a bit. I want to be coming in nice and gently, sort of under 10 meters a second. That's our stage that blew up, the BFR that blew up right beside us. .5 kilometers. .600 meters. nicely. I think we might be ever so slightly getting a little bit of a side motion here. Let's try to bring that back. $300 meters. $200 meters. We should see our. There is our. We can see our shadow. We're coming up to our shadow. Or like the beaver from Groundhog Day. We can see our shadow. We know we're coming in. Just at 7 meters a second. That's good. Perfect. I think this is gonna work, you guys. We've still got 2400 delta V. Ready to cut the engine. And cut the engine. Roll. Roll, roll, roll. That was a bit of a bouncy. Maybe a bit more bouncy than I wanted. It's a little bit of a slope. But we've made it. We have landed on the surface of the Mun. That is a real big slope, actually. We are definitely tilted here. Okay. Atmospheric pressure scan. 48 science. Oh my god, we're going to get so much science, you guys. Another 20 science. You record the crew's assessment of the situation from Mun's Midlands. Great. Do a material study. The data, the mystery goo, another 40 science, so we'll keep that, and of course a temperature scan, another 32 science. And now the big one, Mr. Bob Kerman, it's your time to shine. Let's get this all out of the way here. We're gonna make this as nice as possible for him. Okay. EVA time. Ready? Let's go. And we're gonna drop. And he is on the surface of the Mun. Look how happy he is. Oh, look at that. He's having a blast. And RCS on. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. First things first, plant the flag. Here is our flag. First Kerben, not Kerbran, Kerben. First Kerben to walk on the Mun, like so. Plaque text. It was not a hoax. Kerman walked on the Mun here. Yeah, we don't need the second exclamation mark. And that's it. We have our flag. Look at that. Bob Kerman is thrilled. Let's look this way. Oh, that is a great screenshot. That is fantastic. Look at that. I need a screenshot of that. Just like that. Fantastic. Oh, this is so cool, guys. Okay. We've got a job to do here. So this is the carbon midlands. Or the Mun midlands, I should say. Okay, let's do RCS packs on. Oops. That didn't work. There we go. Collect data. Yes. Store. Take the data. Perfect. Collect data. Yes, we're going to remove it. Restore. Take the data. And we're good. Alright. So our science is done. Oh, one more. We want to take a surface sample. So I upgraded the astronaut complex so that Bob Kerman can take a surface sample. He takes for 120 science. The darker midland surface appears to be made of basaltic rocks. Interesting. It'll keep the science guys very happy. So now we are. That is it for this episode, actually. So next episode we're going to return Bob Kerman to the surface of Kerbin. Actually, we can probably get a view. Oh, look at that! Is that ever cool or what? There's a view of Bob Kerman with the Mun. Actually, here, watch this. This is gonna be cool. I'm gonna get. Whoa! He just ragdolled. Can you stop? Oh boy. Okay. Maybe that wasn't as cool as I thought it was gonna be. Well, it kinda was. Yay, bouncing. Okay, yeah, that doesn't. Actually, can I get science of him flying? I think I can do another EVA report from the Mun's Midlands. Let's just space. Really? I guess not. Okay. Okay, I actually want you looking the other way. So can you? Yes, just like that. All right. Look at this shot, you guys. Just like that. And this is the return home shot. Okay. Alright, so that's it for this episode. On the next episode, Bob, who's smiling from ear to ear, he's going to get a chance to head back home. So he's looking forward to that, I'm sure. He's got a big grin right now, but he's gonna get to go home, and he's gonna bring all that science back with him. So I'll see you guys next time when we do that.